RuneScape and old school RuneScape are two sides to the same coin, some people say. Though in reality, it's more of a diverging timeline sort of situation where the games split at a single point in time and are now two different realities. RuneScape kept evolving, and its lore, world, and mechanics have continued advancing at a fast pace. Old school RuneScape, however, stayed true to the nostalgic charm of the game, where its gameplay has remained nearly the same since its divergence, and the world has evolved down a different path. Whether you find one version of the game better than the other is an opinion, and no side is more correct than the other. As someone who's been playing since RuneScape Classic, I personally think both versions of the game are just, well, RuneScape. I think both games are good games and can coexist, and the communities from both should do what they can to help both games flourish. There is no reason for discourse between the two games, and I actively encourage players to play both games. And that is what I'm going to start doing. Though old school RuneScape has always appealed to me as a game, I never wanted to restart my progress when the game split. But with friends in both of these games' timelines, it's time for me to try going from RuneScape to RuneScape, experiencing the alternate timeline. Hello again everyone, Kamori here, and welcome back to RuneScape, this time for episode 41. Here are my stats and everything as usual. 127 quests completed, 1,337 total level. Today we're trying to get to the cave horror task after we kind of finished the whole mishap last time, but then we're going to also finish a pretty long-term goal that we've had. So starting off, finishing that trolls task that we ended off with. Still doing them up here in Natiz, not just on these ones that the guards are actually fighting as well. Kind of a boring task. I have started to use expeditious bracelets, but 106 trolls there. I got this task before I did rum deal and everything. So my next task, I got the horrors, but unfortunately it was jungle horrors. Not a good task at all. Honestly, this task might be just as bad as like lesser demons and black demons. Like the drop table for jungle horrors is non-existent. They drop absolutely nothing. At least I got absolutely nothing. You get so many of them in a task, and yeah, they drop just the most basic. I don't see a reason to ever do this task. It may even be something I toss onto a block list at some point. But I did realize later on that the black mask drop from cave horrors doesn't have an increased drop chance on a task. Level 57 range sliding in. So there's not really a reason to get a cave horror task. It doesn't make it easier to get the black mask drop, but I suppose if you're meleeing them and stuff, you get you wouldn't even get the black mask bonus because you don't have it yet. Yeah, there's really just no reason to get a cave horror task, so I definitely didn't keep going for it. But jungle horrors, like, they're all over this island. They're pretty aggressive, so it's pretty easy to just sit there and kind of just flick without paying too much attention. But then, of course, after 10 minutes, you do have to leave and get your aggro reset. But yeah, other than like teak logs, I don't think I picked up a single piece of loot. Like they really didn't do anything, and they only drop regular bones, so it's not even worth like picking up their bones and burying them, I don't think. But there we go, another task complete, up to 600 points. Still not too sure what I'm going to be spending it on next. But as I said, I do have the desire to go for the black mask, so here's my first cave horror kill. I am just going to save spot them right here in the entrance. I don't think there's a reason to go any further in. I am trying to level range, so it's like I might as well just camp right here at the safe spot, but it is like a 1 in 512 drop chance or something like that for a black mask, so I don't think I'm going to be getting them anytime soon, and especially because I am just waiting for one to respawn. It's going to be a very slow grind. I'm just going to do like 25 kills every day or two, and just we'll slowly work on getting it. It's not It's not an immediate goal or anything, but we did get up to 58 range, 57 from the last task, all the way up to 58 fighting these as well. And then we're going to slip in a nice little surprise here. Level 80 farming. That is a huge milestone. That is my first level 80 skill. I haven't really been doing too much farming. I've had like mahogany trees planted for like a couple weeks now that I haven't checked. I should get back on it. Like there's no reason to stop doing farming or herb runs or anything like that. But my friend was playing again, and so I've been holding off on doing Guardians of the Rift to play with them because it is a mini game that we both quite enjoy. So, you know, might as well do it together, make it a little bit more fun, just sit and call and talk as we do it. I'm really enjoying Guardians of the Rift. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I'm assuming it's people who have played on like 3 or 4 accounts and have had to do it for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games. But there we go, 47, runecrafting coming in. It's, I think it's peaceful. Compared to like runecrafting before the minigame, I guess in RuneScape 3 we had, I mean, I just did the Abyss for so much of it, but we got Runespan, and that made it super AFK, and so that was a good update, but this is a more rewarding, like, active training method. I don't know, I think it's a lot of fun. But I know people who don't like it, so, you know, 48, and then 49 as well. Very nice. It did take me a couple games to realize I had the level to do nature runes. For some reason, my brain thought nature runes were at like 52 or 54 for some reason. And I was like, wait, no, I can absolutely make nature runes. And so that was actually quite nice. That was like the chaos and nature altar were like the two runes that I was like focusing, going out of my way for. But level 50 rune crafting coming in there. So that is a nice base 50. We can use all of the burnt, soiled, and soaked pages. And we can hold the larger pouch there. Gonna squeeze in a quest as well, speaking with my homie Rat Burgess. He's just a trader, you know? He's just sitting next to this basically empty cart down here. And we're gonna start the What Lies Below quest. It's a very short quest, but it does give you a pretty decent ring that is useful for leveling not leveling magic, but it's a very good early magic ring. I don't have a Seer's ring or anything. I've just been using a wealth ring for everything. I should maybe... I wonder if it would be worth going down to camp like Rex or something and try to get a Berserker ring. Rat Burgess wants us to get 5 pages that these outlaws stole. These outlaws are such an odd NPC. Like, they're a decent level for free-to-play areas, but they give like no EXP when you fight them. But they do have drops, so it's not like you can only fight them during this quest. But they have such a very basically awful drop table. Very low level herbs, very low level ore, like rope, things like that. But yeah, you hit pretty hard on them, but you get almost no EXP. I don't know what the reasoning or anything behind it was. Maybe it's like if they gave full EXP, they would be way too good of a training spot in free-to-play. I don't know. Very strange, but it's a guaranteed drop every time you kill one, so you do just kill 5 of them. I know this is actually a pretty decent way of getting rope in free-to-play, or just early on if you're not going to like RD to buy it. Like, I'm pretty sure people will farm these for rope and stuff, but I don't know if they have any other notable drops, because I'm pretty sure it's all just basic early free-to-play stuff. But that's kind of odd because these are used in a member's quest, so it's like, I don't know, very odd space for them. And there's so many of them. Like, why is there this huge camp of them in between 2 cities? Like, who knows? You get the 5 pages, you put them in the folder, and you bring them back to Rat, or as your character calls him, Ratty. And your character is totally like, oh, let me guess, you're some noble prince, and you're having me, you know, do stuff for you on a quest, kind of like Prince Ali Rescue, and just all the quests where everyone just happens to be someone super important. And he's like, nope, there's a wizard named Surok Magus who lives in the Varrock Library. Go bring these to him. You come up here, you speak with Surok, who just thinks you're here for his Aphrodisi yak spell, which, I mean, that's what I'm here for. I want to learn more about that spell. He's a powerful wizard, apparently, but you give him the pages, and he's not happy with it, and he uses magic to tear up and burn the pages. And he's like, oh, this is all information you don't need to know. But if you want to help me, like, I need to get this rod infused with the power of chaos and an empty bowl. And he's like, so take this rod to the chaos altar with 15 chaos runes. And so me being the daring individual that I am braving the wilderness. It still feels odd because the wilderness in RuneScape 3 is completely safe. You can opt out of PvP, and so you can never be attacked. But of course here, risking it for the biscuit, using the Abyss altar as opposed to going to like Guardians of the Rift. I think I have a Chaos Talisman too, so I could have... I mean, you would still have to go to the wilderness normally to get to the Chaos altar, but... It is pretty nice seeing on the minimap all the different runes are like highlighted over the portal that it is. For as many times as I've used the Abyss, I still have never bothered to memorize where each spot is, but it's so useful for the Chaos Altar. My god, running the maze down into the Chaos Altar just through the actual like training method is very daunting and tedious, but even with the shortcut under the statue, like it's not really very worth creating your own Chaos runes. You bring it back to Surok and he gives you this like notes. You can bring them to the king and you're like, hey, you should look at this, because like the notes like talk about like a mind control spell and, you know, very treasonous bad things. But King Rold has zero time for you, and he does not care. He's like, my secret palace guards will protect me. I'm super safe here. Nothing you say is gonna like change this. And if you actually had notes saying that I'm in threat, like you would be beheaded for treason. And I'm just like, whatever, bro. You bring the notes back to Rat, and he's like, oh my god, this is terrible. Like, we always suspected that he was trying to do something really evil. This kind of just proves it. He did have things that he needed that he was unable to get, but we've got information that he just received those items, and we kind of thought it was you that did it, but okay, you were tricked. You didn't know. He said you were going to get a ton of gold, so we can't really blame you for this, but this is really bad. So if you want to help correct this, just go. We have another insider man in Varrock. His name is Zaf. He works at the staff shop. We need you to go connect with him to learn how we're going to basically stop this evil mage's plan from going down. And so basically Zaf has a way of dealing with it. So I make my way to Zaf's staff shop, speak to him, and I say, Ratbird just sent me, and he's like, oh, you must be who you are. Like, I was told to expect you. And I'm like, but he just told me to come here. Who did he tell that got here before me? You know, whatever. Either way, he's basically saying there's only one way to stop this. You're going to have to summon me at like an opportune moment, and I will show up and I will deal with it myself. He's like, here's a ring, the beacon ring, which you get to keep this at the end of the quest. He's like, you're going to have to get the king really weak in a fight and then summon me. Also, we're making you an honorary member of the police force. Go try to arrest Surok. Whatever. You come back to Surok, and he's wearing full Dagonhai robes. He basically tells you that he's a descendant of the rightful heir to the Dagonhai Order, and he's, you know, completed his spell, and it's too late to stop him, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bring it on, I will fight you. And he's like, I'm not scared of nothing. Like, I'm a Dagonhai. We don't run from a fight. Here he goes. He casts his great spell. The king just happens to be standing in the library door for some reason, and suddenly he must kill me. Granted, going into the abyss drains your prayer. Didn't remember to recharge that, but thankfully the king's a total beat. And so you just sit here and kill him. I do remember when you get him low, though, your character is supposed to say something like, oh, now would be a good time to summon Zaf, or something like that. Like, I swore your character said something, and it's not just a message in the chat box. And so even going back and editing this, I didn't notice that there was a message in the chat box, but I was just sitting here just AFKing. There it is. Now would be a good time to summon Zaf. I swear it popped up above your character's head as if he was talking. Like it says, uh-oh, King Rold looks evil. And so I just sat here attacking him, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm not dealing damage, and I totally should be, so maybe now's a good time. You click operate on the ring. Zaf shows up, knocks the king out, teleports him away. He basically restores his mind because Surok has a mind control spell, and Surok's like, oh no, like my plan is foiled, I have to get out of here. And he starts to teleport away using some other fancy magic teleport spell. But Zaf casts a teleblock after he casts his teleport spell. Basically stops it, and he says he put a whole block spell on the room itself. Kind of insane. And Surok's like, no, my plan. And Zaf is like, thank you for your help, Gamora. Like, we're going to keep him locked up in here and keep an eye on him forever. I don't know why he can't just leave out the front door, but, you know. And so he's just walking around in here now, and you can rub it in his face a little bit. And he's all butthurt like that. He doesn't even want to talk to you. You make your way back to Rat Burgess, and he's like, okay, like, thank you for all of this. Like, how did it go down? And I'm like, oh, I was wha-pow, and I wha-choo, and I was zubero, and then Zaf showed, and I'm just like, you know, animating this whole fight scene and how it all went down. And he's like, well, thank you. Like, we understand it's kind of strange that we're keeping him in here, but now we'll keep a better eye on him and everything like that. Thank you so much for helping us do everything. And then there's like a complaint PvP like peers had where this quest gave defense EXP, so you can like choose to not get the EXP at the end, but I ain't a punk, I ain't a peer. There you go, 1 quest point, 8,000 rune crafting, 2,000 defense EXP, and we get to keep the beacon ring. It's not an incredible ring, it just gives like a +2 to magic attack or something like that. It is a little bit of a nice magic ring, but it's nothing huge. With that quest out of the way now, we are going to work on 50 thieving. I know thieving from the fruit stalls isn't the best anymore, especially for a main, but it's something I've seen so many times that I'm like, you know what, I want to do it. I want to go through that grind, might as well. I was only keeping 3 fruit, the strange fruit, the papaya, and the Galovanova fruit tops. That's what they're called, right? Galovanova, I'm pretty sure that's how. I have no idea what they do. I just know people keep them for some reason, so I figured I'd hold on to them myself. Took like half an hour though, if even that. There we go, 49 up to 50 thieving, which is huge because that's what we need for the Rogue's Den, as well as the pickpocketing wealthy citizens for the AFK thieving method and everything, so that is huge. And that only leaves 1 skill shy of level 50. I'm leaving this whole Tears of Guthix route in the video because I feel like this is like one of the luckiest like runs of Tears of Guthix I've ever had. There was only like 1 moment in it where I got like an unlucky change of tier locations, and it's right here in the beginning. Like they all moved over to the right side and I was on the far left. And outside of this one right, I mean, it wasn't right in the very, very beginning, but pretty early on. It's within the next like 2 or 3 of them, I believe. But other than that, like there was always one either right where I was or one just next to me on the same wall. But there we go. Oh, never mind. I don't even remember. It's pretty early on though. But yeah, I've done quite a few quests since the last time I did Tears of Guthix. It's been kind of a long time. There we go. They all moved to the right side and I was like, oh, unlucky. Like I have to run across the room, waste so much time. But I still don't know if there's like a better method to it. I know, like I've talked about it before, there's the whole like, oh, you try to just stay on the same wall, or some people move back and forth between just like 2 adjacent walls. Some people will just stand at one wall until one moves to it because it's not worth moving back and forth. I try to enter in and start collecting from the like the 3rd blue tier. Like it's like they're in a countdown. Like there's 3 blue, 3 green, and like 1 blue moves, then another blue moves, and then the final blue moves. Where it's like if you go to the one that moves last, you have a better chance of being able to move to one of the other ones. And so that's always kind of my goal, is to stay as still as possible and try to collect from the later ticking one than the others. But I don't know, maybe there's a more efficient way of doing it. But I blow my PB out of the water with this one. I don't know if it was because I just had that many more quest points since last time I've done it, because it's honestly been like a month. I've been putting it off for some reason. I kept wanting to get other skills above herb lore or construction, but I just wasn't doing that. But I was going for 150. That was kind of my goal, but I get up very nice 165 tiers, and then it just teleports me out. That was a little shocking. It usually walks you out. But just for that, 9.9k herb lore EXP. Like, that's insane. That's like more than so many quest rewards. Tears of Guthix is incredible. Do your Tears of Guthix. I can now make anti-odor salt. Odor salt? Odor? I don't know what the heck that is. Like, I ain't gonna use that ever, I don't think. Pretty sure it's just odor, and it's just, you know, the British people leave U's in words, but topping off level 50 Herblore there as well. Cleaning all the Abentos that I've had from farming. I have like 2.2 thousand or something like that. But that is level 50 base stats for everything except for sailing, but I will get to that at some point in the future. Just wait until my friend and I can kind of binge that. But that is going to be where I go ahead and call it here. So that was the big goal that we've been talking about for a while, finally done, the base 50s. It took 41 episodes, so I do kind of want to play a little game and like guess like how many more episodes until I'm at like base 60s. Is it going to take another 40 episodes? Is it only going to take like 8 episodes? Who knows? That'll be kind of interesting to see. But I've been also getting horrible packet loss playing RuneScape. Like, I'm disconnecting all the time lately, and it's been happening in other games too. I don't know if it's my like router or something like that, but I've been troubleshooting for like a week or two now, and it's kind of pissing me off. So I really need to figure out what's going on with that. Is anyone else having packet loss, or is it really just like I need to buy a new router at this point? Who knows? Either way, thank you guys all very much for watching, and hope to see you all back in another one. Until then, take care. Peace.